The last way the United States decided to respond to the economic changes during 1960 to 2000 was changing their beliefs politically. The Civil Act movement. I can't even fucking look at this. In 1492, Christopher Columbus had fled from Europe, founded the Americas, caused a chain of events where he led several countries in Europe, including the Spanish, French, and British, to colonize the land and have an exchange of goods called the Columbian Exchange, of which allowed them to have access to goods from the Americas, but as a result brought in diseases, of which killed millions of Native Americans, which only gave them access to more land and caused more migration over to the New World, causing several colonies to settle down, continuously traded with Europe with their new goods from the Americas, which helped grow the transatlantic trade route. Period. The growing concerns about national security contributed to changes in the United States foreign policy by the new technology like the nuclear bombs and the political rivalry between communism and capitalism. From 1945 to 1991 was the Red Scare, which affected the lives of many. During this time, America fought in wars to protect countries from communism like Korea, Iran, and Vietnam. You got Iran correct. I'm impressed with that. The political rivalry was the reasons for the wars and the tension between America and Russia. America also fought wars in Cuba to end the dictatorship, but it didn't work. Leading to the Cuban Missile Crisis. Settlers also changed their hunting methods in North America during 1754 to 1800, when they introduced animals from their countries, such as horses. Before the horses, the natives would do all their hunting on foot, but now that they had horses, it made it easier for them to catch up to their food source when they ran away. This made it easier for natives to kill the woolly mammoths. The United States from the 1800 '(s) to 1848 was marked by extreme progressivism. They had slavery! This was the biggest era, in my opinion, in which they got the greatest amount of growth as a united nation. Also, they got expanded in national culture. All of these reasons are the importance of growth of a nation. A historical context that helps explain the creation of this image is the act banning alcohol. I mean, fair enough. I don't remember the name of it either, and I got a 5. Alcohol is making the lives of the wives in the households a living mess. An example, the men in the house would spend all their money on alcohol and not stuff that are needed in the house. The ban on alcohol had a major influence which led to many other reforms being made in response to its effect. Cool. An important British policy during 1763 to 1776 was the Stamp Act. The Stamp Act was a policy enforced by the British government that all papers had to be stamped with a stamp. The fuck else would they be stamped with? One difference in how two groups responded to the political change in the United States from 1783 to 1840 is through the Southern American states trying to obtain more political control from Lincoln. What? This led to extreme debate between the two regions. 700,000 people died! Native Americans before the 1500 '(s) were all across North America. They still are. They had settlements with deep-rooted culture within their own tribes and with other tribes. Still do. The natives knew the land and knew all the resources very well, better than the newly arrived Europeans. This caused them to be able to make friends with Europeans in some cases. I mean, I'm sure there are a few. In conclusion, the Europeans changed the European culture completely. In order to understand how the British colonists in the Americas adapted to their environment, one must understand the context how the British colonies adapted to their environment. You said that already! The Columbian Exchange is where the colonies export different values back to British, such as corn. The British colonists in the Americas significantly adapted to their environment from 1607 to 1754 due to the social and economic events such as trading with the American Indians and growing crops. Another economic event is plantations. Plantations are in the South, where the slaves would grow things like cotton. Plantations are agriculture-based, so growth is the things needed, like cash crops. This helps the British colonies adapt to their environment in the Americas. Thank you for your time. What the fuck? What do you think? you for your time. Oh my god. I can't breathe, dude. Different reform movements in the US responded to industrialization from 1820 to the 1900s by protesting against the labor. What do you mean? They fuck are you talking about? What? During this time, a lot of people from rural areas were going to more urban areas for better job opportunities. One way reform movements responded to industrialization is by protesting. There was a protestus that happened and all the people in the labor union refused to work until they got hiked wages and or better working conditions. Oftentimes this would go on for days and maybe even weeks. This protest was rarely ever successful though. It was a good attempt at first. Sexual tensions from 1800 to 1848 shaped U.S. society into what it is today. The civil tensions over slavery, land, and government eventually lead to the Civil War, which caused a major rift between the northern and southern United States. This rift was caused by the varying opinions of Americans on slavery's eventual downfall and how new land bought and gained pre-Civil War. Wait, what? I don't even know. Slavery was becoming a thing of the past to the North, and was needed to keep the Southern economy running. After the 4640 line was created, wait, what? Wait, let me look that up. That's not a thing. The United States foreign policy responded to changes in the world from 1890 to 1930 by getting involved in World War I. In George Washington's farewell address, he warned the country to not engage in relationships with other countries and to stay neutral. When America got involved in World War I, it created alliances with some countries and bad relations with others. They killed each other! What do you... One specific bad relationship was with Germany. They killed each other! Because after the war was over, Germany had to pay reparations for what they did in starting the war, after it was ended by the Treaty of Versailles. This put Germany in debt and they blamed America? No, they didn't. What? There's like at least 5 other countries they could have blamed before America, maybe even like 6. The League of Nations was suggested to form alliances between multiple countries. United States ended up not joining the League of Nations, instead joined NATO. Is this person a fucking idiot? The historical event happening before this was the Industrial Revolution, causing new job opportunities for the American people. The way this connects with the way United States society responded to economic changes from 1960 to 2000, because the Industrial Revolution made the jobs for men to work and had a stigma for women to be at home, so in World War II ended, women still needed jobs, but were instead fired, making women protest. And another way the Industrial Revolution connects to the way American society responded is one of the main jobs Industrial Revolution caused was factories making military weapons, which had low business after the wars, causing the American citizens to lose jobs, and protested against wars, because even though the Industrial Revolution gave American people jobs, and trading wars would affect the jobs and trading, causing American people to poverty. The last way the Industrial Revolution connects to the political changes being changed as a response was because the Industrial Revolution made jobs specifically for whites, like office jobs with the owners of factories, and jobs specifically made for colored people that were labor jobs and railroad workers. One event was the end of World War II and women's jobs being taken away from men. This caused American women to respond by protesting for their rights. Another event is the end of the wars. Caused American citizens to lose jobs. They responded by going job hunting. I mean, yeah, probably. Overall, the society responded to the economic changes from 1960 to 2000 by protesting for their equal rights, job hunting, you said that already, protests for anti-war system, and changing their beliefs politically. One way the United States society responded to the economic change during 1960 to 2000 was protesting. After World War II, men came back from war and women had less job opportunities and were just fired. This caused women, capitalize, to protest during 1960 to 2000 because they wanted to have equal rights with working for their household. Another way the United States responded to the economic change during 1960 to 2000 was go job hunting. This caused a lot of American citizens to lose their jobs and made them go job hunting to go find jobs. The last way the United States society responded to the economic changes during 1960 to 2000 was changing their beliefs politically. The Civil Act movement. I can't fucking look at this. The purpose of political leaders like Webster promoting ideas of having central government is so that the country is united and everyone is held to the same standards. The Union is essential to the success of the U.S. The Union is the U.S. and it needs to be supported by all states. During the 1820s to 40s, the government was not united and the laws in each state differed greatly. States would also not follow federal laws and put their own priorities over the federal priorities. You could have just at least, listed one example. That could not have hurt. Really? In the 1850s, there were debates over the power of the federal government, and many wanted to limit the power of the federal government and leave more rights to the states. In the Supreme Court case in Maryland, one of them, the court decided that federal laws override state laws. This caused the US to be connected and more united. Just don't tell them about what happened in the next decade. One political debate in the United States between 1910 and 1929 was a debate on if the US should join the alliance of NATO. Again! Someone else made the same mistake too! What? How common is this? Rush is saying the Revolutionary War is long from over, while Adams is saying that there is a consequence from it. I love how this one implies that Rush is saying there just wasn't any consequence of the Revolutionary War whatsoever, it didn't matter. And also, no shit! Maybe if our government would have been stronger and more established, then we could have resolved the slavery issue. After the Revolutionary War, our government wasn't in the best shape. It had to establish and perfect our new forms of government, so we formed the Constitution, Bill of Rights, and many other things to try and perfect our government the best we could. Oh god, this one's a real essay. New conservatism is an idea of how the state and federal government should operate. New conservatism is an idea that the federal government should not regulate people's lives, but state governments should have more power to protect citizens. There are many reasons why certain people and a portion of the public support this. The reasons are that the free market brings good changes to society. People demand social reform from their local governments, and past federal government officials have brought bad changes, and most of these officials who are seen as bad presidents were liberals. Okay, last one. Before the 7 Years' War, the United States was just a group of about 13 British colonies. About 13. Fucking about 13. This motherfucker paid $100 for this test. Fucking about 13 colonies. As if that's the one thing you're supposed to memorize through all of the American education system. There's 13 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 colonies. Holy shit, dude.